it's Max. You are watching my YouTube channel.
I'm here with Leon Todd, guitarist from Ragdoll, who have recently released their first single in a couple of years, Rust, which is a proclaimed heaviest song so far, since your debut in 2016 at least. Where have you been, Leon?
Oh, we've been here, there and everywhere, I think. We did our first dedicated full-length album, Back to Zero, in 2016, but we've been releasing music pretty consistently since about 2011. We released like a string of EPs and singles, and we actually put all of those together as a compilation album in 2014, I think, and that got quite a good response. And we did Back to Zero in 2016, and then we toured Australia, and we toured Europe, and we toured the USA, and we toured Australia again. And we got such a great response to that. We spent a lot of time on the road with that album, which is, I guess, why you make albums a lot of the time. It's for us anyway. We love being in the studio and we love recording and writing, but not as much as we love playing live. So it was a real treat to get to play that live in so many different places.
Yeah, where was your favourite place to play?
There was many. We played a festival in the USA called Rocklahoma. We've actually played that one a few times now, but we basically closed our side stage that we were playing on. They had like a big main stage, and the Scorpions played. They're one of my favourite bands ever. And then we basically closed as everybody was kind of leaving the festival ground. Our stage was set up there, so we had this. We just had like a really big crowd. It was like 1 a.m, and just the kind of gig that you always dream that you'll get to do. And had a great turnout, had a great vibe. We ended up pulling the one of the promoters on stage to sing an AC/DC song with us, and it was one of those things where it was just so much fun. So that was definitely a good one. And then playing in France was amazing as well, because it was like the opposite vibe. In the States, it's always people just go nuts no matter what, whereas playing in Europe, and especially in France, everybody was very attentive, and they would be like still during the show, and then you'd think, oh man, we're totally blowing this. They hate us, and afterwards they would come up and they would give you like a detailed breakdown about everything, and then
a full essay.
Food. Yeah, great food and great wine, and just great people. So that was a real, again, it's a real treat. We've been really lucky in that regard.
That's just such a crazy image in my head, a bunch of French people standing up all tall instead of, getting into it.
Yeah, and it was, I always, this wasn't in France, this was in Belgium, but I always remember it was a very similar vibe, but this one particular person, this Belgian person, came up to me and said, what in, the guitar part after the second pre-chorus, what scale do you play there in a particular song? And I was like, my initial reaction was just to laugh, because obviously this person's just joking. They were very serious. And I was like, no, I enjoyed it, and I'd love to learn the song. So you could give me some pointers. They'd never heard of us before, so that's kind of the vibe, the difference there. Whereas I think playing in Australia and playing in the States a lot of the time, people are just there for a good time, and they're focused on the big picture rather than the detail.
Did you get to play with any cool European bands?
We did, yeah. We played with quite a few. There was a band from France called Electrocutors, which and of course it had like a K instead of a C, and they were just the most AC/DC sounding bands you've ever heard in your life. And they were all French guys, and they just sounded incredible. It was like this little mirror image Angus Young on guitar, this guy who was one of the most intense performers ever, and their singer was incredible, and so getting to sort of go around and play with them was really cool. And then we played a pair of festivals over there. We played one in Switzerland, and we played one in the south of France. And the one in the south of France was cool because we played with it was just this sort of motley assortment of bands. There was like a bluegrass band opened up, and then there were a few other kind of rock bands, and then we played at twilight. And then the band who played after us were this just like intense symphonic death metal band. And they were just incredible. Like, one of the loudest, heaviest, tightest, most technical bands I've ever seen. And we were hanging out with them backstage, and they were just, they were lovely. And I didn't bother to ask what sort of style of music they played. I just assumed they were going to be a rock band. They came out and they just like demolished this place. It was pretty amazing. I forget what they were called, actually, which is a shame because I'm friends with the singer on social media. I need to I need to find that one out.
Yeah, find out and link me to it so I can check it out.
Definitely.
That's
they
cool.
Were really good.
I'd love to tag along on a tour of any band and just kind of see where the differences lie around the world, but also the similarities. Music really connects people.
And I guess I've been talking about the differences a lot, but the reality is that it's mostly very similar.
Well, if French people are playing AC/DC essentially, then there's obviously something underlying that's just connecting us together.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I always remember they had a song in the song was in 3 languages. So the first verse was in English, and then I think the singer was Serbian, so they did a verse in Serbian. And then the chorus of the song was in French. So, and yet, everybody was digging it, and it had that AC/DC crunch about it. So, there's, like you were saying, there's so many similarities going on that you immediately feel comfortable wherever you are.
Yeah.
That's a nice thing.
It's all the same people.
Yeah, exactly. The same, it draws the same things out of people, I think.
What do you think the best part of being in, not just a band, but Ragdoll itself? What's the best part of it?
For me, and the thing which has taken me probably the longest time to realise, and something I've realised a lot about kind of anything that you do in your life, is it's really about the people you're doing it with. I love playing with Ryan and Cam. They're 2 of my best friends, and they're just great people. That's sort of the bottom line. And the fact I get to make music with them, and the fact I get to play shows and travel around with them is a real bonus. But I haven't played in other original bands before, but I play music for a living, so I do a lot of playing with other groups as kind of like a freelance thing, and that dynamic is quite hard to recreate. It's very much about the sort of personal chemistry you have. So that's honestly the thing I enjoy the most now about music is when you're doing it with good people, then it's always going to be enjoyable. And the fact the guys that I play with are great players and performers as well is kind of icing on the cake. I think when I was younger and playing out in often you get the chance to play with someone who might be a really great player, and they can be they might have a kind of bad attitude or something like that, or they might just be having a bad day, and you have this kind of really strange experience where it sounds good, but the like on stage experience might not be very pleasant. So I just love hanging out with the guys and making music together. That is the special part about it.
And you can sense that on stage as well. You can sense when people are really just vibing together and they're on the same wavelength, and the music sounds better.
Yeah, and I mean, I think for all of us, and we've said this before, it's like if for whatever reason, one of us or several of us or all of us, don't want to do this, then we simply just won't do it. It really is it's a labor of love. So that's why we're still making music and why we still enjoy it, I guess.
Well, that's good. I feel more confident asking this question now, because I didn't want to ask you to speak for Ryan, but since you're so close, on the topic of your new single, he described it as it's about a time where hate is given away rather than used to its full potential. And without speaking for him, I was just interested on your thoughts on how hate can be used in a productive way.
I'm really glad you asked this, actually, because I I got an email from someone a while ago, and I do a lot of guitar-based stuff on YouTube, like lessons and reviews, and there was somebody who follows that, and they realized I was in a band, and they checked out the music, and they had seen the press release, they were sort of trying to decode the lyrics, and they sent this to me, and I think they got the wrong idea based on that, and it was funny because then I was talking to Ryan about this, and it's like, you know, it's very easy with that type of quote, I think, to miss the point. But I think the idea, a lot of this particular song, anyway, is about like kind of the climate of perpetual outrage that we live in, where you go on social media, you watch the news, or you go out into the street, and it's like everybody is outraged about something, in a very like non-productive, like in a way that doesn't necessarily bring people together.
Definitely.
And that idea of it's like, and there is a lot of that is vitriolic, and it's filled with hate, and I think the one primary function of the human emotion of hate is that it should be used as something we can use internally to improve ourselves. Like if you read the lyrics for Rust and you listen to the song through that lens of, okay, there's these, part of the human experience are these really negative, intense emotions. To deny those is to deny part of the human experience. So it's rather than harness them for outrage or for hatred or for violence or something like that, be aware of those feelings and use them to work on yourself. That's the takeaway for us.
No, and that's a great message. It's like the physical equivalent is pain. You don't feel pain for a good reason. You feel it because something's wrong, and then you learn and don't do the thing which hurts you. And hate is an emotional equivalent.
That. I love what you just said. I'm going to remember that. That can contextualize that so much more. It's like
you can use it as a lyric if you want. You can use it as a lyric.
Amazing.
Just PayPal me. Oh, just send me a free T-shirt and we'll call it even.
I'll just cut you in. We'll cut you in on the streaming royalties.
Yeah, definitely. I'll get 20 cents. Just that's it.
You get 20 cents by the year 3020.
Streaming. But yeah, no, definitely. It's such an important thing to be talking about because I think this is the time with the most divide in it. We've always been productive, but now it seems we're just at an aimless war, and people really need to focus and use their hate, as you put it, productively.
Yeah, and I mean, it's something that, it's so much of, there's also a lot of, and this is a great thing on my end as well, that there's a lot more discourse around not only looking after your body, but looking after your mind, which kind of plays into that as well. Is like if you let those thoughts and you let those feelings go unchecked, they can be really, really destructive to your mind and to your person. So there's a few lines in there that in the song that definitely sort of play into that. And especially just the main hook is like personifying that particular set of emotions, and just being aware that they're never gonna go away. So you better have a good strategy to deal with them.
Yeah, of course. And Rust is not only a good song, but it's a good message as well. And just gotta check it out, really, don't we?
Yeah, I think so. And it's obviously really easy to take things too literally when it comes to songwriting. I always like to think of the way sections of a song work, where you obviously have a big chorus and a big hook, and then you've got a lot of the information about what we're writing about in the verses. But the really important part of this song is the bridge, and like what we were talking about, there's a line in there like, I glow brighter by your resistance, that idea of you using, you're resisting that urge to give into negative emotions and hate, and it's improving you, it's leveling you up.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Leon, for taking the time to, crack into the depths, of this track, and hopefully I'll play it on air now and get a few people going and checking out Ragdoll.
Fantastic. I really appreciate it, and thanks so much for the question. I really, really genuinely enjoyed this.
Thank you. I don't want it to be a tedious task to talk.
No, I've done far worse interviews, believe me. Anytime I get to talk about the musical content or the lyrical content is always a pleasure for me.